For me, cinematography is a way to share ideas and become connected while telling a story. It is something that has the potential to move us in such a unique and intimate way as the possibilities are left to our imagination. When words, music and visual effects are working in harmony, it draws out emotion in such a distinctive way like no other textile. To have the ability to evoke joy is extremely innovative, as they say laughter is the best medicine. And these are the reasons why I chose to explore the world of cinematography and comedy. This then set me on the expedition of finding the answer to what the most important considerations are when producing an effective advertising parody video. Throughout my journey, I researched the fundamentals of creating an effective parody video through the process of text analysis of online articles, websites and videos. I also undertook an experiment consisting of creating 2 different parodies, employing conventional techniques and having the audience compare them through a survey. What is a parody video? The aim of a parody video is to create humor through the means of imitating the work of another artist. This imitation can include irony, exaggeration, or ridicule to create a comedic effect. Advertisement parodies can also have elements of exposing a certain product's flaws or shortcomings in a humorous form. When creating an advertisement parody, content choices are very flexible as comedy is so subjective, but there are certain techniques and methods that should be considered to increase the comedic effect upon the audience. In comedy, there are many devices used, such as surprise.
Isaac Newton died a virgin. That means I have one up on history's greatest scientific genius. Because I'm not dead.
And double entendre.
Are you well? No, you're not well, you're a person.
Which are commonly used by many comedians. However, there are some specific techniques that are fundamental when it comes to creating an advertisement parody. These techniques are extremely evident in parodies such as iPhone X by Pineapple, honest commercials, Naptime and many others that have proven to be effective through the creator's experience, reputation and views engagement. The most prominent methods in these parodies are the following. Puns, which are exploding homophones and words that sound familiar.
The all-new used 2004 3-wheel drive 4-door H150 with a hemorrhoid by Just Get a Car.
Taboo or blue humor, which thrives on the usage of content that might seem offensive in a civilized environment or politically wrong, that results in surprising the audience.
Some people call it racist, we call it the future.
Silence. The use of silence usually consists of eliminating non-diegetic sound to make the punchline more evident.
What do you think he's on this time? I don't know. Shrooms?
Pepsi, this is not shrooms.
And silencing diegetic sound, creating awkwardness, resulting in a comedic effect.
It may take a really long time to see your pictures, but
incongruity, when logic and familiarity are replaced by things that don't normally go together.
He drinks beer because all his friends do. He's quick to make decisions.
I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I prefer not to.
Surprise. The content is displayed in a way that makes the viewer believe it's heading one direction but do not expect the punchline.
Introducing the all-new, completely redesigned iPhone 7, iPhone 8.
Irony, when the actual meaning is the opposite of the literal meaning, which is vital in advertising parodies. They thrive on endorsing a product by highlighting its unappealing features.
It's amazing. I'm about to blow your mind.
Just by doing this, it creates a strong comedic effect, as advertising parodies try to promote the product by displaying the finest features in the best way possible, as they linger on the border of honesty and deception.
most commercials are just not honest.
So it is ironic that an advertisement would endorse a product using unpleasant features. By analyzing advertising parodies, we can see that this is the key idea that they are founded on, and then other techniques are used to enhance the experience. The reasons why these techniques are so effective can be further comprehended when we dive into the field of study where the 2 worlds of humor and physiology collide. Gelotology, the study of laughter, which consists of why and how humor arises in psychoneuroimmunology, which involves studying links between emotional states and health. Researcher Peter McCrow states that humor occurs
when and only when 3 conditions are satisfied. A situation is a violation.
The situation is benign.
Both of those appraisals occur simultaneously.
In this case, violations are anything that threatens the way we believe the world ought to be or are stated by Peter McCrow.
Something seems wrong.
The violation can be made benign when there's a lack of commitment to the violated norm, or if there's an explanation that makes it seem okay, which supports the incongruity theory. Many physiologists such as Plato, Aristotle, Thomas Hobbes, Henry Bergson and countless others agree on. Once the audience encounters a violation of ideologies and perception of morals, they can do one of 2 things. Firstly, they can be stimulated by the benign element producing humor.
Public toilets, can't live without them, can't live in them either, because there is no fridge and microwave there.
Or secondly, they can process it in a way that they become offended.
There's nothing okay about that.
Because they take it seriously.
How many feminists does it take to change a light bulb? Oh, it's a silly question. Feminists can't change anything.
As they may have some attachment to the principle or subject of the joke.
It violates a host of norms,
making the comedic effect dissipate. And this draws a strong emphasis on the dangers of using techniques such as dark humor.
This is chloroform.
After we had our first child here, we regretted it almost immediately.
We didn't know that she'd cry so much.
Talk about defective. But thanks to nap time, our little Samantha here hasn't made a noise in weeks. I keep her in a shoebox.
Anti-ugly camera. Here at Pineapple, we're tired of seeing ugly people on the internet.
Slapstick.
So if this looks familiar,
I feel pregnant.
As it can potentially cross areas that some audiences might perceive as stepping over the line, such as making a pedophilic joke to an individual that was abused in the past and is emotionally traumatized.
These folks won't laugh at your pedophile joke.
Or making a joke to an audience that has recently experienced a tragic incident.
You told a 9/11 joke right after 9/11. People were booing and hissing. One guy yelled out too soon. Luckily, it stayed out of the press.
But in each case, it's an emotional connection, as there is commitment to the violated norm or is psychologically close.
Funnier when perceived from a far distance than a close distance.
Extinguishing the benign element.
Irma Bombeck said that there's a thin line between laughter and pain, comedy and tragedy, and humor and hurt.
And this links to another important consideration when creating a parody video: knowing your audience.
You should pay attention to your audience.
To have the optimal comedic effect, the subjects that the audience can relate to must be taken into consideration, as well as the boundaries so they can understand the punchlines without being offended. In order to achieve this, I created a parody video that was heavily sedated under the techniques of incongruity to have all the shoes you could ever want. Ever drown drinking water because you never learned how to swim? Need new gloves but don't have arms? We can't help you. Dark humor. Having trouble getting to that locker that's not yours? Just place a papero on the locker, then you just wait for 5 seconds and problem solved.
Breaking news, student was hurt after an explosion.
Your respiration's naturally decreasing, not gonna suffocate.
So I can fly.
And blue humor. Need new shoes but can't run out of the store fast enough.
Have to pay for those.
Get back to your workshop.
Mom, pick me up, I'm scared.
We will include a free agent to make your iMac for $2,000. I created another that was more focused on the presentation and the aspect of imitating the professionalism of an advertiser. What if I could take the concept of a sneaker and revolutionize it? That's when I first came face to face with the RJ suit, and my audience compared them through a survey. Hence, I discovered my audience's requirements, and the results concluded that darker and more controversial humor catered more appropriately to their needs. We support the findings of Marshall Bryan, as my audience are all teenagers, and he states that teens laugh at subjects that adults consider off limits. My final parody was the outcome of, firstly, discovering methods that should be considered to create an effective parody video through text analysis, making up my potential content. Secondly, understanding my audience's needs through a survey and adjusting to cater for them. Thirdly, researching why and how humor arises through extensive text analysis in the field of genetology and psychology. Then cross-reference my findings of conventional techniques and my respective audience's requirements, which then allowed me to narrow down my content, creating a system of minimal effort and maximal success. I employed conventional techniques such as irony. We can see irony all throughout the video, as it is centered on endorsing a product by highlighting its unappealing features. Are you tired of your battery life lasting too long? It's only expired turns off in no time. You like that? What? No, of course you do. Boom! Your phone opens right away. It's more trash as well. I found this one in my neighbor's rubbish with cutting-edge technology to develop the Sony wireless headphones. Check this out. Hey, sorry. What's the time? See? Honest, apologetic, to the point. With Sensito, you have zero chances of getting your money back. Are we overpricing you? Yes. Do we care about your safety? Not really. Do our phones even work? No. When using this technique, logic is violated, as it does not make sense to promote something in a way that exponentially increases the susceptibility of the product being undesirable. And so it is made benign, as it just does not seem real. Dark humor. You shoot everyone in the building, so it's kind of like a shock collar for dog. So dog bites you like, then you like, bam, and then dog's like, that's for human. And if you drop it too much, you get heart attack, and you can't drop it if you're dead. Now can you? In this example, the morals are violated, as it comes natural to the audience to fear torture and life-threatening situations. But it is made benign, as they acknowledge the nature of the videos for comedic purposes. Taboo and blue humor.
Hola, I remember my uncle once told me, Mijo, you're a piece of trash, you will never amount to anything. What always on is because we're always trying. Using the sorry card, you don't need a bank. You don't even need money. We've linked your bank to other people's banks. So it's not your money, it's other people's money from other people's banks. Specifically, rich white people, they probably won't even notice. And if they do, and they report you, and they call the police, good luck. And then you go to jail and
This examples hint fraud and racism because of stereotyping, hence morals violated, but the audience once again know the product is not real, making it benign.
Because both are mock attacks, or threatening situations that also seem harmless.
Incongruity.
It helps you save thousands of monies. Have you ever happened to this? Oh no, I spilled phone all over water. Are you tired of choking your cord when you plug it in? That's okay, it's totally normal.
This example straight up threats
the way you believe the world ought to be.
As they know that they cannot choke on a cord when they plug it in or spill phone and water.
Something seems wrong.
Because the punchline is so ridiculous, it just does not seem real. I chose these techniques as I found that they were the most appropriate to cater for my audience. I also made sure that the content was relatable. For example, I used punchlines such as
anxiety and wasting time. Exams, also known as anxiety and a waste of time.
This punchline is extremely relatable as teenage years are awkward and tense, and I was aware that my audience were going through exams at the time of the release of the video, which gave many additional anxiety. This made them instantly relate, enhancing the comedic experience. This method I use is also similar to the same approach Mancuso took when attempting to escalate the relatability, as the release date of his parody was significantly close to the release date of the product he was parodying, so it would be more relevant to the public. All of this helped me to create an effective parody advertising video that engaged my audience as much as possible. In order to reach this conclusion, I had to consider the best suitable techniques to parody the product, and if the punchlines were benign violations that the audience could relate with, resulting in a comedic effect.